Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhatarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavandau Punah Punaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukaro Anthakaro Vai Rukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste Vaivasvataya Manyave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. So, we are in the second chapter of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, second section of that second chapter. Already we saw the first verse of the second session. All over the world, all religions present the God as an individual like us who is sitting in a location. All religions believe in heaven. Most of the religions talk about heaven. And God is situated right in the heaven. Those who do good deeds and noble acts, they will reach heaven. And those who go against the creation and do unfair deeds in this world, they go to some other places. In different religions, they have different places for the people who do literally named sin, means unfair deeds. This is a belief accepted by all over the world, by all religions. Where we don't go along with this belief. When the Lord is located in one place, we need to reach him through a means, through a path. It can be noble deeds. It can be certain other religious acts like rituals, etc. And actions are involved to reach this exalted individual, so-called God. Most of the religions compulsorily impose the people who come to churches and mosques or in the sanctum of Buddhists, anywhere. If you want to go or reach the Lord, you need to act certain things in this world. And most of the people follow these norms given by their religious leaders. And they say, don't question, but you just do what we say in our scriptures. All over the world, we don't have a right to question or to be doubt in what other scriptures say, because sometimes the scripture seems to be illogical in other religions. It's not the fault of that religious scriptures. It's the fault of the person who imposed the acts to the person. What is told in the religious scriptures, they miss to convey properly the people in a logical way what is told in the religious scriptures. Anyway, the reality about the Lord is very different from all religions. And that will be more easier for an individual to realize the God, to accomplish the fact, other than any religion in the world. Without giving up the religion where you have born, intellectually honest towards what the Indian scriptures say. What is the fact behind the Lord? And what are the means, what are the path to accomplish the Lord? Very much different from the visions of other religions. We present the God according to our fundamental scriptures that Lord is not located in a particular place. This is the first fact. I will mention you again. When other religions promote that the Lord is situated in a one particular place, like heaven, etc., etc., we present the Lord, which is the fact, which is very much clear and logically proven that there is no specific location for the Lord when it is all pervasive. Something which is everywhere. It will be very easier to identify if you know how to identify. When you say there is a location for the God, how I will identify? Because I am a human being, my Lord will be also in the form of a human being. If I am a buffalo or a cow or a cat, my Lord will be in the form of a buffalo or a cow or a cat. There are a lot of difficulties when you follow religious norms without questioning, or when you don't get the idea how to logically accept. There are a lot of issues. That's why people move away from the religions when they are properly thinking. It's not their fault. It's the way. When you want to know the Lord in a proper way, and the religions present certain norms which you cannot question, which is not possible to logically digest with you, then you move away. So here, what we call the scriptures, the Indian fundamental scriptures, Vedas, which is a science talking about all kinds of knowledge. Whatever branches in the world, all the knowledge about dance, Nartya Shastra, all the information regarding sculpture, how to make an idol from a stone, Shilpa Shastra, astronomy, how to identify stars, how to tame or discipline the physical body, Yoga Shastra, how to use medicine, what is the purpose of medicine, how we can make strength of our bones, how can we do a surgery. This is Vaidya Shastra. So that the fundamental scriptures of India, in the first part of that scriptures, each and every branch of knowledge is being mentioned or talked of. The second part, mainly what we are studying right now, the ultimate part of the Indian fundamental scriptures, talk about something very different, a knowledge about an entity which is all pervasive, a knowledge about the Lord which is all pervasive, which is eternal. That entity will be dwelling in one's own individual body when it is all pervasive. And how we can account our individual body, that is also being presented. In a movie theater, when the cinemas are going on, the white screen will become a colorful screen with a lot of ingredients like a garden, car, house, even war zone. Sometimes planes will come. Everything. One single white screen can become different things according to the movie. Similarly, the one and only entity became different things in the creation. One single entity became everything. That doesn't mean it changes, it changed its nature. Like milk modified into curd, then there is no coming back. Not like that way. An ornament which is a transformation of a metal called gold, without the changing its intrinsic nature, it appears in many things. The gold being unchanged, it can appear in different names and forms. Similarly, the one single all-pervading entity is there in front of us in different names and forms. That all-pervading entity might be me. Luckily, might be me. Only thing I should know. But right from the childhood, I am informed myself from the society, from the family members, from the friends, from my career, from my boss, from my subordinates, even from my government. They have given an identity card of my face and my body and my thumb impression, and they confirmed that I am this body. And I take myself granted without thinking that I am this body. This mistake is continuing for several years and it's very deep rooted. Up to this moment, this information is guiding me everywhere. And also people recognize me through my identity card. my face in the airport, my face in the election card, my face in the passport, my face in a school identity card is valid. How can I give up that my identity is not this body? I have to accept that because majority of the people are dealing with their election card or identity card to have an empirical action in this world. So my mistake is deep rooted. I am this body. But body is just like a pot, according to one of the master in commenting on scriptures, Adi Shankara. We are dealing his commentary only. We are studying his commentary only on this particular Upanishad. He says, a pot is just in the tip of the tongue. The mud, the clay remains every time. Because of the purpose, we give a name for the pot. A mud is being identified as a pot because of its purpose. That's all. There is no such thing called pot. There is only thing called clay. The all-pervasive entity is being superimposed by different names and forms. And I am missing the obvious. Something which is right in front of me, I can't identify. That being my goal, that being my Purushartha. Purushartha means in Sanskrit, to be achieved by a human being as a goal. My Purushartha is to be free from all kind of bondages. And knowing that I am not this body and I am this all-pervasive entity, this make me to be free from all kinds of bondages in this world, which are only notions, in the form of notion. Bondages are not in the form of tying a rope around my neck or in my hand or in my leg. It's all inside notions. Any bondage is notion, is a notion. Notion means due to ignorance. Any mistake is called a notion. Wrong, erroneous notion. It's a mistake. Mistake is a product of ignorance. Not knowing something, I take something as other than what it is. This is what we call the superimposition. Ignorance is the cause for mistakes. Mistakes make me to identify a thing, something other than what it is. A superimposition is ready. That not knowing the all-pervasive entity, I take myself what is seen to me, what is appearing to me, my body. Like when we travel in the night through a street, night at 12 a.m., and I see some shadow right in the top of a house, something white in color. I assume it is a ghost and it's moving also. I came to my house and I convey this to my wife. I saw a ghost today while I am coming to our house. In the top of that house, there was a white in color ghost calling me with the hands. In reality, it's a white shirt which is hanged to dry in the sun, and they forget to take in the evening. That shirt appears to be ghost. Similarly, not knowing that it's a white shirt, I assumed myself as it is a ghost. The same way, I am not informed by traditional teachers who are well versed in scriptures about myself. I take myself, I am this body. who is subject to death and birth and a lot of sorrow and pain in my life. I am subject to sorrow. I am subject to pain. I have to go through different experiences of happiness and unhappiness and always wavering in my life. My graph is always in wavering. This identification is due to not knowing the reality. We say the whole process is called dualistic vision, Dvaita Bhavana. Seeing something other than what it is, the world, the people, the body, the mind, everything will be in this category called dualistic vision, duality. We don't need something like scriptures to teach duality, because duality is easy to grasp. Right from my childhood, I take everything what I see in my life as true. So there is no need of a book to say that your father right in front of you is a real thing. The mother which appears right in front of you is a real thing. There is no need of such book. Dvaita Siddhantasya Grantham na avashyam. There is no need of a book in order to make me confirm that whatever things you see in this world are true. There is no need of such a book. Why? It is already, I accept myself, whatever I see in this world. If there is a book to make me recognize that all the things what you see in the world are true, then it is a dushta pramanam. A book or a knowledge leads me to a different direction, which is also causing harm in my vision. I am wrong in you. I am taking into a wrong direction by that wrong book. So duality is not to be taught. Why? Duality is an illusion, and I already accepted myself that the things what I see other than me is true, are true. But in order to correct my vision, there is a need of a scripture to come and play the important role in my life. Duality being untrue, duality being unreal, I need to know the real fact about myself. The body which I see being unreal, the mind which I perceive myself is unreal. The things around me which I see, which I perceive being unreal. The real thing, when I come to know, I can give up all these unreal notions. That is why scriptures are valid means of knowledge. Pramanam. In Sanskrit, it is called pramanam. Scriptures are valid means of knowledge. Please write this sentence in your mind or in your book. Scriptures are valid means of knowledge. Pramanam in Sanskrit. I need to explain all these things because we are in the second chapter, in the second section. We should know the significance and the importance of what we are studying. The scriptures being pramanam, it should reveal a unique thing. Then only it will become pramanam. Like eyes can only see among all organs fixed in my body. That is why eyes are being accounted even by our court. Witness is needed for any transaction in this world. Whether it is a land sale, whether it is a vehicle sale, whether it is an ornament sale, witness. If there is a surveillance camera or a person near to you, if you say, I didn't do that transaction, if the witness come to know, and if the witness play his role in the court or in the respective place, you are in trouble, because somebody has already saw that transaction. So eyes are valid means of knowledge accepted universally in this world. We call direct perception is a valid means of knowledge. Pramanam. Pratyaksham is a pramanam. Direct perception is a valid means of knowledge. Because eyes reveal unique way. No ears can reveal what I see, nor my nose, nor my tongue, nor my skin cannot see or reveal something right in front of me. Eyes can only reveal. Similarly, ears also listen, ears also have the faculty to listen. All these come under one single pramanam called Pratyaksha Pramanam. Direct perception is accepted universally all around the world. I saw the person going through that way, then people believe and they will follow them. Did you see my dog? Yes, I saw a dog going here and there with a chain in the street. It's a Pratyaksha Pramanam. And I am searching on my dog, and somebody told me like this. Witness being there, I follow what he saw, what he told to me. This is called Pratyaksha Pramanam. Next is Anumana Pramanam, inference. I collect some data and I assume there's something happened. Like when I wake up in the morning, I saw some water particles in my ground, and I assume that, I infer that last night we got a good rain. Inference is also a valid means of knowledge, Anumanam. I am giving explanation in a gisted way, in a small way. We need to talk elaborately in another class, but we should know the importance of the means of knowledge, what we are talking now. So, Pratyaksham, direct perception is a valid means of knowledge in this world, universally accepted. Next is inference is also accepted as a valid means of knowledge, Anumanam in Sanskrit. And Upamanam, giving an analogy to somebody in order to identify a particular thing. It's called Upamanam. I have money. When you put the zeros of the wheels of a train, means lot of money. So Upama resembles something in order to identify something in the world. For example, Nilgai, a traditional example, a blue color cow, but it's not exactly a cow. It has 4 legs like a cow. The tail will be like a horse. The head will be like a deer. So we collect different animals, and their parts are being put together in order to identify another particular thing which is not seen by somebody. So Upama, analogy, is also a valid means of knowledge in this world. Pratyaksham, Anumanam, Upamanam. Arthapati. I postulate a fact in order to justify or in order to make it prove another fact which I see in front of me. Like somebody is not taking food for last 1 year, and they say that or he says that I am not taking food at all from last 1 year. But we see that he is getting fat. In order to justify that fact that he is getting fat, whatever he say, it is a lie because he is taking food daily. So I postulate a fact in order to justify something I see right in front of me. This is how we identify the people. Even though the house is locked, we saw the person's footwear right in front of the house, which he or she used to wear daily. And we assume that being the footwear there and being the vehicle of that person being there inside the house, even though it is locked outside or right in front, we can go behind because he don't want to see anybody. This is how we postulate a fact to justify or to prove a fact what is right in front of me. Arthapatti. I will talk all these things in another class. For the time being, you just understand these are all valid means of knowledge in this world. And also, not seeing something is also valid means of knowledge. When we discover, when we invent some medicines, in order to know the strength of the medicine, we put some bacteria in the water and we put some drop of the medicines, whether it is working or not. And the next day, if you don't find any bacteria in the water, everything is died. It means that because there is no presence of bacteria in the water, it proves that this medicine is working. So anumanam, the absence of something is also a valid means of knowledge. What I want to say all these things, when something revealed uniquely by something is called pramanam. For example, our direct perception is a valid means of knowledge. Similarly, our scriptures also valid means of knowledge, much less similar to our eyes, because the topic in the scriptures is not being revealed by any means of knowledge like our direct perception or by inference or by analogy or by presumption or by anupanatti, then absence. Whatever data we collect from the external world is not enough to assume, to imagine, to prove the all-pervasive entity. You can only get the knowledge of all-pervading entity, one single thing called in the scriptures, Upanishads or Vedanta. That is why it is a unique means of knowledge like our eyes, because this entity is not possible to perceive by our eyes, to perceive through inference. There is no such data to infer. Like when you see the water in the ground early morning, then only you can infer that there was rain in the night. There is no such data or informations to collect from the world in order to understand there is an all-pervading entity. Just the informations which are told in the book can only give me there is an all-pervading entity in the world, so-called God. No other way of understanding the all-pervasive entity in this world. That is why it is significant to understand what we are studying. And I told you this all-pervasive entity is obtaining in our body through our first verse of the second section of the second chapter. Last class we saw that valid means of knowledge. This text shows that all pervasive entity is available right in the body, because when something is present everywhere, it can be obtained. It is available in our body also. That is being told in the last class. I will read once more for our continuity, then we will go to the today's verse. Puram ekadashatvaram achasya avakrachetasah anuštayana shochati vimuktascha vimuchyate etat vaitat. Puram ekadashatvaram, a kingdom, a mansion which is having 11 entrances. Our body is called a mansion or a kingdom. I already explained in the last class. For the sake of continuity, I am explaining once more that this body has 11 holes. These 11 holes are being the entrances for a person to see what is residing inside. Through eyes, we go through scriptures from our traditional teachers. By listening to the words of traditional teachers, we will get an idea about what is residing inside my body. Through the nose, through the words, everything, all these 11 holes, 11 entrances are there to know this residing entity. Puram ekadashatvaram ajasya, which is not subject to birth, which is not subject to death, avakrachetasaha, which is not available for the crooked people, which is not being present, which is not other than straight, which is not available in any other way. Knowing this anushtaya, properly, continuously listening from the traditional teachers' words, one will come to know the entity residing in one's own body. Anushtaya. Then afterwards, what will be the result after knowing this? There will be no sorrows. There will be no speck of unhappiness in our life. A person is completely free from all kind of seeming bondages. Oh, I have a lot of responsibilities. Oh, I am a small personality in this world. People are not approving me. I am not drawing the attention of others. I should do something to become viral. These are all body notions. Once you know that each and everything in the world is nothing but this entity which is residing here and there and also inside my body and also outside my body, I am free from that pressure that I want to become a big personality. I want to free from all kinds of worries. I am free already from all kinds of worries. Just we have to give up the notions that all the worries are due to my body notions. Then the person is free, vimuktaha. While living, he got or she got liberated. After listening about the real nature about oneself, that is a formless, attributeless, colorless, birthless, deathless entity, which is not connected to anybody in this world. A formless entity cannot be connected with father or mother. A formless entity being me, which cannot be connected with my sisters. A formless entity cannot be connected with my dog and car. I am free from all these things. My body has seeming connection, which is not me. My body means my shirt, my pen, my earring, like that. My body is there. But I am not the body. Whatever I say in the name of my, when I pronounce my means it is something other than me. I am this all-pervasive entity which is free from all the things, all kind of sorrows, all kind of worries. There is no birth, there is no death for a formless entity. There is no father, there is no mother, there is no sister, there is nothing called any anything like husband, children, wife, all are connected to my body. I am free from all kind of bondages. I am ever free Brahman. Eternal freedom is retained, accomplished, discovered by the listening, from the listening of the traditional teacher. It's not that you got freedom newly after listening to the scriptures from the traditional teacher. No, you discover, you retain, you came to realize that I am ever free Brahman, this consciousness. And after departing from the body, that person who realized that I am this formless consciousness, he or she will not take a body again in this world to be into, to be again to be worried in this world with a lot of pain and sufferings. Vimuktaha, while leaving, she got or he got liberated. After departing the body, after the period of the body, again she will not come into this world of death and birth cycle, so-called samsara. That is what you asked, O Nachiketas. Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad, 1 to 14. You please advise me, you please instruct me what is beyond all this creation, that substratum of all this creation. Please, you talk about that. That is what been told here. Indeed, this entity is being the center pillar of all creation, which is not subject to death and birth. The individual is something which is told right now by the scriptures. The individual is nothing other than this conscious entity. This was the first verse we already saw. Now we will enter into the second verse. Today we are going to see the second verse. At least we can see the overall meaning. Hamsaha shujishat vasuhu antarikshasat hota vedishat atitir turonasat nrishat varasat ritasat vyomasat abja gocha ritacha atricha ritam brihat. I will read once again and I will give the significance of this verse, why it is told here. Hamsaha shujishad vasuhu antarikshasad hota vedishat atitir turonasat nrishad varashad ritasad vyomasat abja gocha ritacha adricha ritam brihat. Wow, very beautiful verse. First, I will give the connection of this verse from the first verse, what we right now we saw. This all-pervading entity is not presented by any religions in this world. I already mentioned you at the beginning of the class. We don't have any information from the external world. There is an all-pervading entity exists everywhere. We cannot perceive through our bare eyes, through our vision. We cannot perceive the entity through inference. There is no such data of the existing entity. In order to infer, we should get something called data by direct perception. Like water particles in the ground will be the data to infer there was rain at night. So there is no such data. In order to identify, there is an all-pervading entity. So inference is not possible with our human body. Direct perception is not possible as long as we live in this world. Analogy is also not possible. In order to give an example, there should be something other than this entity. This entity being one and the only thing. There is no second thing to resemble with this entity. So there is no examples. There is no analogy to give an example for this entity. So upamanam is also not possible. Arthapati. There also we should get some data or a proven statement right in front of us. Then only I can postulate a fact in order to justify what I see. There is no such a thing in this world. So all the valid means of knowledge cannot show this all-pervading entity, and scriptures being the valid means of knowledge which talks about this all-pervasive consciousness which might be me. That is why the hero or the heroine of the scriptures is the listener. Apart from listener, there is no other topic in scriptures. The listener is the all-pervading entity, which is not subject to death and birth. When the listener understands completely, he is free. He discovers, he realizes, I am ever free. Before coming to scriptures also I am free, but I mistaken my bondages. After listening to the traditional teacher, a person comes to know that I am eternal free and I will continue to be eternally free consciousness. This unique knowledge being revealed by the scriptures, it is also considered as pramanam. Arthavat palabhodagam pramanam. That which is defectless and which has a thing to be revealed unique, which is unique, then only it will become a valid means of knowledge. No other religious book talk about an all-pervading entity or a Lord which is everywhere. Sarvavyapi. That is why our scriptures are very important, which is a torch bearer for every human. And for the welfare of the humanity only, we traditional teachers take into a life to make others understand and make them free from all kinds of worries and sufferings in the world. Our boyfriend may not accept me, but I can completely accept myself. Why? I am defectless, all-pervading consciousness. My boyfriend will see some defects on me and they will give up me, no problem. But I accept myself and I have a self-image due to the teachers' teaching, traditional teachers' teaching. It's very important. I accept myself. Self-acceptance will be restored. Because I was worrying about my issues pertaining to my body. I was worried about my issues pertaining to my family matters. I was worried about my issues pertaining to my career. All these things are just connected with the body, which is not me. I am ever free, defectless consciousness, which is all pervasive, which is not subject to death and birth. This teaching can only get from a traditional teacher through the Indian scriptures, what we call Upanishad, which we are studying right now. So this all-pervasiveness is being restated in a different way. The first verse already taught us an individual is pervaded by this consciousness. That is why 11 entrance in this body are the entrances which will be helpful for a person to understand an all-pervasive entity which is residing in the body. Now, in a different way, the same all-pervasiveness is being highlighted. How? Hamsaha. It's the time, 5 minutes more. Hamsaha. Sun is being called here Hamsaha. Hums, to travel, to move. Sun, who can move according to the legendary scriptures in our Indian tradition. Sun, which is dwelling in the heaven. This all-pervasive entity is in the form of sun, which is brilliant, which is shining, which moves quickly, and which is dwelling in the heaven. Shuji Shat. Shat means indweller, which dwells in the heaven. Shuji, the pure world, where there is no other than happiness, where there is no other feelings other than happiness. Shuchi Shat. Hamsaha, this all-pervasive entity, is in the form of sun in the heaven. Very easy. Hamsaha Shujishat. Vasuhu Andarikshasat. Vasuhu, one who is in the form of all-pervasive, like air, our vital air. Vasuhu, who resides in the intermediate. Vasuhu Antarikshasat, in the intermediate space. There is no air after a few kilometers in the space, but it's all pervasive around the world. Vasuhu, it is in the form of air which is filling in the intermediate space. And Andarikshasat Hoda Vedishad. Vedishad, a ritual, a place where rituals are performed in the world. Yaga Vedi, Yajna Vedi. When a ritual is to be performed according to the scriptures, there will be a good preparation in a particular space where fire holes are made of, certain steps are made of, certain shapes for the ritual post are made of. All these things are called Vedishat. In an earth where the fire rituals are performed are to be seen as the most auspicious places as a spiritual seeker, because fire rituals are mentioned in our traditional scriptures called Vedas, and particular scriptures are performed in a fire holes which are arranged very earlier before the fire ritual happens. This place where the fire ritual happens is called Vedishat. The fire which is being ignited in that fire ritual stage is very extraordinary entity, which is considered as an extraordinary entity, which can give all kinds of boon and all kinds of prosperities for the human being. That's why wherever there is a fire ritual is going on, our presence is very important to seek the blessings. So here it is told, this all-pervading entity is in the form of a fire where the fire rituals are conducted. And that is called Vedishat. I am going to explain in the next class also Just I am completing the literal meaning. Atitihi Duronasad, a liquid. After processing a plant called Somalata, a creeper called Somam, a leta, a creeper, and that creeper is been processed completely and a liquid is been taken in order to perform a fire ritual. That is called Atiti, which is kept in a particular pot, Duronasat. It is also translated by Adi Shankara in another way. He gives another meaning also. An auspicious person who is entering to our house without any information, Atiti, he is also the form of this all-pervasive Brahman. The concept is one and the same. Whatever you see in the world, inferior or superior, all are nothing but this all-pervading entity. I am going to talk about this verse with its particulars and significance regarding Shankara's commentary. I am going to explain you more in the next class. We will wind up now. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshoparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om